Working in customer support is never easy. Working in tech support? I can't even imagine. Welcome to this episode of Tales from Tech Support. Our first tale is from Nykorson. This one still makes me giggle. Back in the early 2000s, before 9/11, I worked as a tech support for a collections agency. It was a job and the tech aspect wasn't bad, but we had offices all over the country, USA. One day I needed to call the Las Vegas office for an issue. I route through the phone tree and get the department I need, and they put me on hold to go find the info I needed. At this point, I don't really remember what I needed, but whatever. That is when the music starts. Bound chicka wow wow, moan, groan. I just about died. I'm laughing so hard that the other people in my department are looking at me. Somehow the canned music has been crossed with the soundtrack for a skin flick channel. It was Vegas after all. The person comes back and I'm still laughing. Have you guys checked what the hold music is? No? Go listen for a second. I'm still fighting laughter at this point. The very confused tech person, okay, puts me back on hold and more raunchy skin flick soundtracks and moans. A minute later, oh my god, that sets off another round of laughter for me. You might want to get that fixed. I did call back later and amusingly, it was the normal canned music. You have to wonder if the person that was putting together the hold music for this company was doing an April Fool's joke, if it was even around April, or if literally they just thought nobody would complain or they'd really enjoy it. This next tale is by The Rubik's Dude. We have a handful of PCs we think that former employees didn't return when they left the company. Our inventory tools are lacking, which we're working on. We just had a list of PC serial numbers and nothing else. We managed to turn that into a list of 60 PC names with an internet connection. We're not interested in getting these PCs back at this point. We just want to make sure those devices are usable as CYA for potential data loss. As long as a PC is connected to the internet, we have at least some limited management of it. We pushed a script to these PCs, forcing them to reboot and putting them in BitLocker recovery mode. Beyond getting a success or fail reply when a PC ran that script, we didn't expect to hear anything about these PCs. Today, however, a former employee called the help desk after her device locked. Let's experience her call through the notes the help desk tech left in the ticket. User is no longer an employee at company, but is still using company computer. Computer is asking for BitLocker recovery key. Declined to provide key as she is no longer a company employee. She asked to be escalated to a supervisor. She's been using the computer as a personal computer since employment ended. While waiting for a supervisor, she said if we did not unlock the computer, she would break it and never send it back. She has personal information stored on the computer. She hung up before supervisor was available, escalating ticket to security team. To recap, this user never returned their computer after she left the company, and further assumed it was hers to keep and use. Now that we've locked the device, she called the help desk trying to get it unlocked, then threatened to destroy the company property on a recorded line if we did not unlock it. The matter has been passed on to our legal department. You have to really wonder what some ex-employees, what goes through their head when they become an ex-employee, that do they really think company property that was issued to them is theirs to keep? Because most company property usually has a serial number or something on it, showing that it's owned by the company and not the individual. This next tale is from 474 Dennis. When I worked for one of my former employers, HR hired a new accountant and sent her to our help desk so we can provide a laptop. A couple of hours later, she comes back with a laptop and asks us, "How do I work with it?" We spent a couple minutes trying to figure out what exactly she didn't understand. It turned out that she had never worked on computers at all. Sometimes I'm just amazed how the HR department recruits such characters. She got fired the same day. Well, HR probably hired her because when they asked if she had experience, she said yes. I used to work at a company and we actually had somebody come in and interview, and they left the interview and basically told the boss like they appreciated the opportunity, but they were not qualified for the position. I wish more people would do that when they're clearly not qualified. This next tale is by Nazimroth. User makes a ticket about their PC having all sorts of issues. I remote in and have her demonstrate. Indeed, can't even save a file without everything freezing. Well, she has 24 Windows updates trying to install, plus a big one in queue. I open the software center, select said update, and tell her to install it when she has time. First hurdle, she doesn't know how. I do it. I've already selected it for her, she just had to click install. Fine, I'll do it. Half an hour later, she writes me again, claiming that the install is just preparing to download. Is that normal? Well, her PC is slow as hell, so I figured it might be normal. But I've been on this sub for a while. I get a sneaking suspicion. I remote in again and check. Time since system start, 4212XXXX. Right, restart your PC. It has been too long. I restarted it just a few days ago. I turn it off every afternoon before I leave with Control, Alt, and Delete. It has been running constantly for 1.5 months now. Restart it properly. How do I do that? Afterwards, she writes me again to tell me that her PC fixed itself now. You'd think if you're going to the tech people that you would take all of their advice and just do what they're saying instead of trying to argue. In this case, had she just restarted her computer the right way, it would have saved not only her, but also the tech a lot of time. This next tale is from Nykorson. Here's another laugh for you. Same company, early 2000s, and most customer service reps are still using CRTs. If you've never seen one, they're basically black tubes with green and orange front and a keyboard. Nothing else. They are also finicky as all get out. Often, if you kicked the cord or it was firmly seated in the outlet, they would die. About half of our calls were about dead CRTs. Half of the reps not wanting to work, the other half was valid. My coworker took this call, but I'll pretend I was her. I understand the terminal won't come up. Can you go under the desk and make sure it is plugged in? Oh, I can't do that. Really? It's easy. Just make sure it's plugged all the way in. No, I can't do that. Note, it was really important for reps to do this simple stuff, so we didn't need to send a tech down there. I swear, just check underneath and make sure it is plugged in. Oh, honey, I can't do that. I'm wearing a skirt and I ain't wearing any panties today. Imagine a soft southern accent here. Stop. Silence. I understand. I'll have a tech come look. Hang up the phone and lose it. It took us 5 minutes to get her to quit laughing so we could get the whole story. There you go. Your chuckle for the day. Now, I do know there are those people that like to go commando and don't wear any underwear. They just throw on whatever bottoms they have and call it a day. I can't help but wonder if she was trying to pick up a coworker though with that, considering she was wearing a skirt and no panties, but who knows. And our final tale is by Caustic114. I started my first IT job almost 3 months ago, and I finally have at least a little bit of a funny story. If I don't count when my colleagues were explaining to a customer that the problem is just a feature and not a real problem. My company has all computers on leasing, and after 3 years we have to pack some laptops and send them back as leasing is up. My other 2 colleagues, A and R, were packing about 16 of the laptops, and R went to lunch. When he came back, he couldn't find his laptop. So we were looking after it, and then R asked, "Where is A?" So I told him he already took those laptops to Expedition while he was gone. He ran out of the doors. When they both came back, R said that A almost sent his laptop with the other laptops. I know it's not a great story, but just a little story about how my colleague almost sent a laptop of another colleague to a recycling. I don't know what happens with electronics when leasing is up, but I guess recycling is an option. That would suck, having your actual work computer sent off, being mistaken that it was one that was, not on the lease anymore that had to be sent back, especially considering it's your current one with all of your current work on it, and who knows what else. Alright, that's enough tales for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Tales from Tech Support. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.